Do we have to keep on talking till I can't go on? Why you see it your way? Run the risk of knowing that our love may soon be gone. We can work it out. We can work it out. Think of what you said. You can get it wrong, but still you think that it's alright. Think of what I'm saying. We can work it out and get it straight or say goodnight. We can work it out. We can work it out. Life is very short and there's no time for fussing and fighting, my friend. I have always thought that it's a crime, so I will ask you once again. Try to see it my way. Only time will tell if I am right or I am wrong. Why you see it your way? There's a chance that we may fall apart before too long. We can work it out. We can work it out. Life is very short and there's no time for fussing and fighting, my friend. I have always thought that it's a crime, so I will ask you once again. Try to see it my way. Only time will tell if I am right or I am wrong. Why you see it your way? There's a chance that we may fall apart before too long. We can work it out. We can work it out.
The world has become tyrannical,
You want more of your people to die?
deceptive, dystopian, fraudulent, factual, truthful, direct knowledge, has been taken away from the masses for the purposes of control. But enough is enough, dear friends.
We will not comply!
Now is the time to take what is rightfully ours. Welcome to the Syncretism Society Virtual Academy.
Welcome to the Syncretism Society
Virtual
Academy.
Within the Academy, we have great minds to collectively bring our alumni a staggering range of knowledge.
based off decade after decade of quantifiable research.
Spanning from sound medicine,
yoga science,
Indian spirituality,
medical astrology,
wisdom to sovereignty,
holistic health,
esoteric sciences,
astrotheology.
Acquiring these truths, dear friends,
will drive your empowerment and ability.
For proper ascension.
Take back your sovereignty. Take back your knowledge.
Take back your freedom. Join us at the Syncretism Society Virtual Academy.
Welcome, dear friends, syncretists, lovers of truth. Here we are again, and this week we're looking at the word pole after the 3 weeks, previous weeks, bowl, soul, and whole, and we find that they all have the same source. So all the words come from the Word of God. This is the Word of God, and we'll get to that one as well, W-O-R, which derives from this as well. So, and we've titled this the North Pole, the Throne of God. So when you look at the word north, there's the word north, all right? Mixed up. I mean, this is silent anyway, so throne, north. And the key word is pole. Politics, pollution. This is a pollution. This redshift, blue shift is not pure. Pure is P-U-L. Okay, interchangeables R and L. So this is pure as well. And this is what's called Phalllus. It comes from the word pollution. This pollution of matter. Phalllus is this one, and Castor is redshift. Taurus Field. You see? Cast down. He was cast down, and his pure brother, who was not polluted, Phalllus, would save him. Oh, I did forget to mention, I jumped in. Guys, if you want to just join in the Zoom call and keep mute, and you can start participating, not with questions necessarily.
Yeah, they can just put their hand icon while
Yep.
taking questions.
Put the raised hand if you want to insert something of value, but try not to till we finish the presentation. But you're welcome to. I mean, this is interactive. So we see that's where the polarity comes from the pole. Phalllus creates polarity, that's why it's polluted. It's not unity. He was lopped off from heaven and fell down into this pool, doing loops in the pool. Some people call it a field, but it's a pool as well of water. It's a field of, the etheric field is, they're all field modalities, but they're also called pools, you see. And that's all we're doing, we're just doing loops. A bit like the Wish You Were Here Pink Floyd song. With the fish in a fish bowl, year after year. Running over the same old ground. Yeah. What was the next line?
Same old fear.
Same old fear. There you go. And fear comes from this word, from this F-E-A-R, remember, is phal. And we're going to do this in 2 weeks' time. Next week we're going to do Vol. But next week we're going to have Foal. Next week. 2 weeks' time we'll have Foal, which is folly. This is all folly. And we get fear. Okay? So without jumping the gun, get you excited for the next couple of weeks. See, these are two pals. Or two pals this way, red shift, blue shift, or these two twins. Pals making laps, lapping, looping. You see? The two pals, which give you a pair. That's why you have two parents, don't you? You don't have one parent. You have to have two. It can't be any other way. You have to have genes from two, a man and a woman. And they are a pair of pals. Parity, fairness. Fair is also here. We're going to get to that one. Fair, fear. So man was made from dust, polvo. This is the dust. You remember, this is your heart chakra, throat chakra, root chakra, and this is your torso. Torso is Taurus. And he was given cloth, clothing, skin. Well, that comes from Phalllus. Piel in Spanish, pelle in Italian, pelle. And ball in Italian is palla. This is a ball. The balls of Apollo. See, Apollo was famous for these apples that are balls, little golden apples. That's the bowls that he makes creation with. This is the phallus. See this pole here? That's the phallus. Fall. Hall comes from this as well. We're going to get to the H word as well. Oh, we've already done that. So when we did whole the other week, holy, you also have hall, which is from the phallus. And so if you have a phallus, you must have a uterus. Well, that would be this. Uterus. Wrongly spelt, but you get the point. A woman has a uterus. Taurus. Right? She has a vulva. Labia. Clitoris. Taurus, what's that doing there? Uterus. Val. We're jumping the gun because that's next week. But this is it, folks. This is exactly all of those. The genitalia of the human being has always defined the human being. In many languages, they call the little children by their genitals. Yeah. So a little girl would have a name specifically describing her genitals, and the parent will call her by her genitals and call her over. I know this in the Arabic, happens a lot in the Arabic and in Africa. So that's interesting, isn't it? And what do we call someone that we don't like? From Kunda, Kundalini, the goddess Kunda. We call someone a genitalia, don't we? A guy we don't like, we call him a dick. Oh, he's a dick. He's a cock. So it's all this, you see. The Phalllus, this is the fall of man. Man falls. And you see, when Adam and Eve ate from the apple, this is the apple, when they incarnated, then they looked and they said, oh, we're naked. And the scripture says, and they saw that they were naked. So God made fig leaves for them. Where's my little, I'm going to need a, oh, I think I bought it, a cloth. In here? Oh, yeah. That's all right. We can work it out. So, he made for them fig leaves, eh? Figure. He gave them a figure. In Italy, what do they call a woman? They call a woman by her genitalia and by the fruit called a fig. Fica. Fico is a fig. Fig, fig, fig in feminine. So they say, if they see a woman walking past, she goes, oh, check out that fica. Check out the fig walking past. You're getting the point, aren't you? Because this is the fig. You see, this is the portal. Por. P-O-L. Portal. Tal is also tor. Star. You see? Portal is directly derived from the bowl and the tor. Portal. This is the portal through which you will be birthed. You see, this is the portal of the woman. And you come through here. And you take your first breath. This is your heart chakra, right? It's pulsing. It's pulsing with what element? It's fire. The heart is fire and the cerebrum is fire. Aries, Leo. And that's plasma. Pla, 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 pla. Pla, pull, 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 pla. The two pills. Red pill, blue pill. Red pill, blue pill. Which one are you going to have? You're going to come out into incarnation or you're going to go back? Gravitation, radiation. Fission, fusion. Proton, electron. Divergent, convergent. It's a play, guys. It's all a play. We've come here to play and to pray. Same word. This is serious, this is fun. You see how the R makes things serious and the L makes things soft? Alma. Alma, the soul. When you bring alms in church, you're bringing something, a balm. But you can also have armaments. Mary, the ram, R-A-M. Armaments, arms. See, the R is harsh and the L is loving. Rage, love. Red shift, blue shift. The letter L is blue shift. See, this is the word of God to speak. Parliament, parley. Parle. This is parleying all the time. It's pure. Anything that's pure is made of fire. Pyro. It's a pear. Yeah? Or a pear. All right. So isn't that interesting how we see all these words? This is also a pillar. The pillar of God. The obelisk. Bell. The Phalllus. The fall of man. This is definitely downsizing. This is really, really falling. But it's fair. Have no fear. And you see the word Rhea in there, the goddess. What else have we got in there? Fear. Okay. Let's share my screen then. Oh, disabled. That's it. Alright, so you should be able to see my screen, all you following on Zoom. And we're just going to go down to the P's for now. There you go, plural. It's not singular. It's plural. Pour. We pour down from spirit and we get poured into a vessel. Our spirit, soul, is poured into a body. That's how it's described. And we become poor.
Can you get the mic?
Huh?
Closer to the mic.
Oh, closer to the mic, yeah. Sorry. These are some really interesting words, guys. Plane. Planet of inertia. Plane of inertia. Planet of Eartha. What about Poland? A plague. This is a plague. The plague is upon mankind. They have sinned. And because you have eaten of the apple, you will give birth with pangs of distress. He will bruise you on the heel. You will bruise him on the head. So this misery has come upon mankind, this plague, by coming into this pure world. You see, it's no use arguing with people who say, oh, this is a dump, you know. The Gnostic Christians who said this is an abortion, or any other theology. And then you get theologies who are the other polarity, who will say, oh, this is heaven, we've got to bring heaven here, and this is beautiful in God's garden. It's both. There's no argument. It's hell, purgatory, and paradise. Paradise. There you go. Polarity. Parity. Bipolar. Yep. This is what makes us bipolar. This pole that we have going straight through our body. It's a couple pull. It's a paradox. No one can unravel this paradox. Who's going to unravel it for us and explain every intricate detail? I'd like to know that guy. I want to go and see him or her, and get some lessons. I need them. Level. Yes, the plane of inertia is level. It's always equal. Phalllus, police. And what do they do? Well, they create pollution through their politics. which is polity. You see, polity comes about in this polarized world. There's no politics, in the transcendental world. The transcendental world doesn't argue about what is right and what is wrong. Everyone knows. Here you forget. So I did write on the board there, where did I put it? But I'll just put it in here now, just for emphasis. Pro and per. Proper. Right? Something that's proper. Well, per is for. What happened here? I hit the wrong. All right. Person. A person, personality. This is where our personality comes from. See, these planes of inertia, rather these Taurus fields, they are pro-life. But you could say they are pro-death as well. This is a death. This is the baptism of death to have one of these apples. You know, Snow White ate the apple and she was poisoned. Apple, pull. And she had to be kissed by a prince or saved by Jesus. You know? So pollen, how do you fertilise things? With pollen. That's interesting. So this is a feather, the plume of God that led the Israelites through the desert. And they would follow that plume of fire. This is the plume of pyro, fire. See, the word dust in Spanish, polvo, in Italian, polvere. There you go. That's in Italian, polvere. And that's where we get the word pulverize. I'm going to pulverize you if you don't shut up, right? You see the little bully in the sandpit? Oh, I'll pulverize you, man. You don't give me back the bowl? That was mine. That was my toy. Well, that's the dirt that man was made from. Man and woman. Women can't get away from men. They are males, or women, men. So they can't escape man, right? Vice versa. Pure, purr. Oh, a cat, what does it do? It purrs. Well, that's what a Taurus field does. It purrs because it's a pulse. So it's always the letter R and the letter L. Pulling. Oh. Well. I think I'm jumping here. There's pull. Where's pull? There it is. Pull. Gravitation is pulling. Radiation is pushing. So these are pulling devices. Pulling energy from the cosmos and pouring it out to the paradise. Purgatory, paradise have the same root. Park. What's something that is plausible? Well, it's believable. See, these Taurus fields make believable universes. They make the world, the earth. It's plausible. Bull. When you pay attention, you will discover the true language. Pillage and plunder. Pillage and plunder. Oh boy. Plunder. Der is Tor. Redshift. Pile. It's a pile of dung. Dung is D-U-N. All is Aton. That's all the gods have done. A pile of dung. Creating a dung. Made from what? Dung. Dust, dung, it's the same thing. So this is a pylon, right? Yeah, a pillar is a pylon. Pylons make bridges. Oh, a ploy. It's a ploy to deceive you. Be careful of the red shift, blue shift world. It's a ploy. Poly, many. Polyamorous, polygamy, polystyrene, many. Well, there's many Taurus fields around. Every atom is a Taurus field. There's an infinite number of atoms. It's a poly universe. It's all about many. Oh, do you want to be polite? I think it's nice to be polite. This Taurus field is very polite, placid, always praying, good people. You don't want to be a plebeian, right? What's a plebeian? Well, it's not a patrician. It's the lower ranks in the Roman world. The plebeians were the plebes. Yeah, don't go anywhere near the plebes. Bad people, criminals. Public person is your peer. Pal. Profane plebeians, the populace, the proletariat. So all these words have to do with people. Plebeians, public, person, peers, profane, populace. Oh, the rowdy populace. Popular people. You don't want to make pals of them. Paleo, old, of course. The pale horse in Revelation, pale. Yes, pale has to do with weakness. It's a synonymous of weakness. Oh, you look pale. Yeah, I feel weak. I'm looking pale. See, this is a place. It also makes a place, which is our palace. We live in this palace. Parallel. Parents. Part. Oh, want to take a part in creation? This is your part. Pope also has a go. Look at that Papal, who is actually the creators of PayPal. They like to tell you that it was, what's his name? Elon Musk? Creator of PayPal? Oh, anyway. PayPal is papal, guys. So when you use PayPal, know that you're giving tributes, royalties to the Pope. Parlay, it's a very important word, parlay. The word of God, it speaks. It's pulling. It's a play. It's a party. Let's have a party in these Taurus fields. For. Well, there you go. I did put it there, but let's take that out of there and put it in here. Oops. And we want a capital. Keep doing that. Not very good when you do it with one hand, isn't it? Okay, pelt. It's a rock. Ploughing. You have to plough the ground, Adam, if you want to eat. You ate of the apple, now I'm going to throw you out. Right? That's the plot of ground that you have. You've got a plot of dirt, and you can plough that plot of dirt and pelt the stones out of there. You've got to get rid of the stones when you have a nice, fertile field. Plant. Yes, this makes plants and planets. All right, so let's just jump up at... Huh? Yeah, jump him in then. Okay. Someone's got a question?
Yeah. He's unmuted. His name's Nick.
Hey, Nick.
Hey, Santos, how you doing?
Hey, great.
Yeah. I just wanted to add in real quick. Would toy also fit in with those other words you were showing?
Toy?
If loosely. Yeah.
Yeah. Toy is a derivation of Taurus Field, right?
Yeah.
Toying. It's just, you can put any vowel there and you can take the last letter out, toll or tor, the R or the L. You can remove that altogether, you know. So then that gives you the word to, right? To do. Yeah. It gives you both the words to do. So a Taurus field is how you do things, to do things, right? So toy, to, I'm going to, the number 2, think about that, right? That's just right. the Taurus field, which divides into 2. So this is how language works. You don't need those letters. They are suggested. You know, they are alluded to. Yeah, good point. It's a toy. And here we've got...
Thank you.
Yep, for sure, brother. So here we've got, look at this, phylon. Right? What's that? Well, it's a leaf in Greek. And these are the fig leaves that were given Adam and Eve. The phi ratio. Physical. The phi ratio, the 1.618, is all about the fig. Phi. Phi generation. Fig. There's the word fig. It's clearly there. Leave. The lower edge of a garment. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Because leaves are the garment that Adam and Eve was given. So there's the leaf, right? The leaf of the garment. It's a leaf. We already spoke about this, figa and fica, right? A woman in Italian is called a fig. Well, that's because of her parts, right? A man has another word. In many languages, those words are pretty prominent. And they're not offensive. It's not offensive at all, you know. It can be. It's like if you call someone a dick, that can be very offensive. Or if you call them the C word. In Australia, though, they use it in general to just talk about people in general. The C word, about other people. Oh, that guy's a good C. He's a nice C. I like him. I've heard that many thousands of times in Australia. Yeah, vulva and labia. We already did that, you see. And arbol in Spanish, tree, arbor in Latin, tree. And so the Lord took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to work it. Labor, see? Right in the arbor. Right there it is. Labour. Because labour, if you take that R, that first L, and turn it into an R, and just insert it after the A, then you've got this word here. See, labour is right there. If you know that this here is interchangeable with L, you've got labour under the tree. And Adam and Eve had to work under the tree. The tree is always a symbol of sin and work. And then we have the rib that was used to make Eve. Fancy God makes Adam, right? So he makes Adam, and then he forgets how to make a human being. So he doesn't know how to make Eve, so he goes, oh, gee, I better... Oh, all right, what I'll do is I'll just hack one of his ribs, borrow that and start on that. Why didn't he grab a rib of some animal to make Adam? You see how it doesn't make sense? Because it's talking about this rib, this ribbon, the deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA. Deoxyribbon, rib, because this is the rib. He took some DNA, or in other words, he used the same DNA procedure. He didn't use a different code. He followed the 64 codons and he set them in Eve. But you see, this isn't literal. Adam and Eve, there's many Adam and Eves. You know, there's tens and tens and tens of Adam and Eves. They get created at the start of a cycle. A cycle ends, and a new Adam and Eve get created. But it's not literal. You know, it's not like one Adam is the father of all human beings. No, it'll be like there'll be probably hundreds made instantaneously in just one area, you know, or all over the. There's in the Quran it says that Adam was made in heaven first and then brought down to earth. That makes sense because the pattern has to be made first, the template, and then the flesh can assume that pattern and it can inhabit that pattern, the template. And this is what Ione, the goddess, Ione, the Greek goddess, this is what this is all about. Ionic bonding is why, see, when an Adam gives a particle called an electron to another atom, that's called ionic bonding. And then he makes two of the same kind of atom. You see, it might be carbon wants to go to hydrogen. Well, nitrogen next door, 6 and 7. So nitrogen would take or give an electron to carbon and it would change it. It would have a different frequency now. But it's not electrons as in particles, it's about frequency. It's about lines of force, so-called magnetic lines of force. And here we have the beautiful story here. That one here. So again, we have the phallus, Paris. There you go, Paris. And that's where Apis, the bull. Apis is the bull in India. That's what makes you happy. These are happifying energies. This makes you happy when you come into the world and you see all these beautiful things. And that should generate a lot of happiness. And again, you see the relationship between pylon, pillar, lapis, stone. So actually that would have been probably one of the most important words that I would have taken away from this. Lapis, the rock of creation. Dilapidated, you see? Lapidate means to stone. When you dilapidate something, you stone it. The poles of Apollo, here they are, you see these are phallics. These are phalluses. And the 4 cross-quarter days, look, they all have Bel, Hal, Bol, Lum. Okay, Lum is another fine way of saying it. Who we got? Another question. Jump in, Nick.
I also wanted to add in lapis. If I'm correct, in Spanish, lapis also means pencil as well.
Exactly, lapis. And lapis azure, it means blue. Azure means blue, right? So you've got a blue lapis. Well, that's the blue pole that we're talking about. We're talking about this pole, the North Pole, in the centre of the garden. Yeah? Poland, in the centre of the garden. Yeah.
And also known as the staff of Moses as well, right?
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. The Sabbath day. And here we have, again, the relationship between these very, very important words. If you really follow this, you'll understand. The skin, the phallus, the leaf, the phylon, in Greek, leaf. Fall below, apple, the foal, and fellow. Your partner is your fellow. Because we have fallen. Why do you call your friend, oh, that fellow over there, he's a really good guy. Well, why did he fall? Who said he fell anyway? Who said that fellow over there had fallen? You're accusing him of falling. What? From what? From grace? Well, he had to get here. You can't get here without a fall. You can't get to this world without a fall. It's like I can't put you an image of my little puppy dog, Mocha, on here without turning the computer on. It's got to be powered. It's got to fall into the screen. And these are all look at the many words that have the word for skin. Piel, Austrian, French, peau. Again, they removed the L at the end, but that's fine. It still works. You understand it. Pelt. Interesting. That's how they said skin in English, Old English. Piel in Spanish, we've already spoken about that. Where's Italian? I'm looking for Italian. Man, I better put that in. Pelle, Italian. All right. Okay. So we see here from Middle English, fell, vel. From Old English, fell. So the fall has to do with your hide, your skin. Pelt. Fella. Oh, that's a good, nice fella. See? How the fall has to do with skin. Pel and fell. You can see how it all transitions when you look at it like this. Vel as well. Well, we've already said that vel is in there. We're going to do that next week. Next week's is going to be called voltage, volume, volition. Okay, this is next week's, guys. Volition, volts, value, volume, valor. Okay? That's what next week's lesson is going to be all about. And all those words come from the Taurus Field. Greek, Phalllus. Beautiful. All right, let's see if I've got any more slides. No, I've exhausted those. All righty. All right, so jump in, guys. Anyone out there that wants to share your thoughts? And here we go. Yeah, that's the page I was looking for. Just finish off on this, and then jump in and let's enjoy some wisdom. So look at this, pleasure. A plea. When you go to court, you have to make a plea bargain. Oh yeah. Well, Adam and Eve plead with God. Oh, please don't throw us out. Please. Please. Pleasure. Please. Please. Polvere, dust in Italian. Palpable. Oh. Okay. Palpable. Something that you can touch. Palpable. Oh, yes. Look at this. Pal and bull in the same word. Right? Whatever is palpable is tangible. Tan, all is a tongue. Bull. Made by the tempter. Tempo, time. Temptorus. Satan was the tempter. Oh, the serpent in the Garden of Eden. The serpent, the sine wave, the sin of Eve. Temptor. Well, of course. The Taurus Field is all about time. It's a time-space phenomena. Plausible. Well, we've already looked at that, and that also has two hyperbolas in it. At the start and at the end. Plausible. To plunge, we plunged from heaven and came to this place. And we are living in a palace. The king lives in the palace. Right. Okay. Good. Now, it's interesting, folks. One of the best finds, most satisfying finds that I've ever come across in my searchings in syncretism. You know, sometimes you get some real good gems, and you just, wow! You're so thankful that you persisted in your research. Let me get a better blue here. Yeah, that's better. All right, but one of the best one was the Hungarian language. Bal, you're just going to be blown away. Bal means left hand. Balkez, left hand. Bal, left. Well, what do we say about blue shift? It's left turning. That's in the Magadan language of Hungarian. Adan, magic, mug. Magic atom language. The magic atom language, Bal means left turning. Bal ol dalon, on the left side. Oh boy. And look at this over here, you've got in Punjabi, Val means hair. Because you see, what comes out of the hyperbola is it looks like hair. When you see Ken Wheeler's ferrocell on top of a magnet, you'll see the white and black hairs that come from the face of God. You know? I've shown this many times in my presentations, how all forms come from that one form, the Taurus field and the magnetic field. Field, remember, in 2 weeks' time we'll be talking about the word field and how it's also related with fall, and electromagnetism. And as I said, in Italian, palla is bowl. We've done that today. These are the bowls. Yeah? Pallone, large bowl. In French, it's ballon, le ballon. Alrighty. Up on, guys, all you waiting in the... in the chat there, or in the Zoom? Any questions? No questions?
There's no more that are here.
Okay. All right. Well, I've got plenty to talk about. I can go forever and ever. There's so much stuff. Yeah, you can jump in any time, Nick.
Yeah. Thanks. I do have a couple of questions that I just wrote down prior to this. The first one was, and this is relating, I was saying in relation to as above, so below, as with the chrism returning into the north. Was it ever intended for natives of this earth to make a journey or pilgrimage to the north at any point?
NATO? Who? Sorry?
Oh. Was it ever intended for the natives of Earth or humanity to ever return to the north or go to the north?
Well, I think so. I would imagine so. Why would certain areas be prohibited? Although Genesis and the expelling of Adam and Eve from the garden and from the tree of life seems to suggest that that's how we see it now. No one dares venture to go and see the North Pole somehow. And if they do, it's an expedition which rarely do they come back and tell you everything that they saw. It's so scary or beautiful that they can't speak of it. And if they do meet the people that are there, they are sworn under the pain of death not to reveal what they saw. Because I've heard this many times from Icelandic and Nordic people that have ventured up there, tried to find the North Pole. And there's gates. I think there's about 4 portals. There's 4 ways of getting in. And just north of Iceland, there's one of those portals there. And I remember reading when I was a little boy, you know. I remember reading about people who went to the North Pole or went into that region and discovered wonders and just amazing things which they can't speak about, you know. People living for thousands of years in wisdom and in peace and security, unlike what we have here in this world. You know, it's all a mess.
Mm.
So definitely there's a paradise there. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, because I think I remember hearing about a book. I forget what it was specifically called or which captain specifically went there, but I know there was one book or a journal of a captain who went there, saying that he found these beings who apparently were watching humanity. I don't remember specifically what it was, but it was a few years ago.
Yeah, hundreds of those too, Nick. Hundreds and hundreds. That's just not one, you know.
Yeah.
All right, let me have a look at the comments. Where am I going? Oh, my Zoom chat. Yeah, that's the thing, I can't access it now. Where is it? I forget how to do it. Stop sharing? Oh, there you go. All right, the Zoom chat. Here's a question. Just a comment. Okay. Vigdis Gija. As God, Asir gods, Asinia goddess, Asinjur goddess. These words are derived from one or two Proto-Germanic roots. Anaz, pole, there you go. Anaz come from Asgard. Asgard. Actually, they actually say the word Asgard, don't they? Yeah. Vitality. Okay, just a technical issue here, guys.
Okay. He stopped the screen sharing and then, yeah, maybe you can move the camera a little. Just put the camera down.
All right, so let's move on.
A little more.
Nice. All right. Us, yeah, it has to do with gods and the pole. How about that, guys? I mean, look, you can't make this stuff up. Let's just do that again, one more time, just for this. Us, Asinia, goddess, us. Ansas, pole. There you go. So God and the pole, the North Throne, the North Pole, are all interrelated. Life and vitality. There you go. Ansuz. Okay. All right. There we go. There I am. Let me go back to my PowerPoint presentation. I do want.
You're going to share again?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so there we go here, guys. Look at this, say the uterus. Look at the shape of this. It looks like a Taurus, doesn't it? A bull. This is where we all come from. We come from this Taurus called the Uterus. You see? The woman in her torso, she keeps a uterus. What's she doing keeping a uterus in there? Really, she has to. She wants to bring people in. So it all comes from this one word, folks. This is the magic word. And in Tamil, it's called Mahabali. Mahabali. Bala? I think it's Bali. Yeah, not Bala. Let me just emphasize that. Mahabali. Maha is the same as hyper. Maha means big. Hyper means big. Extra, hyperactive. And Bali means to thrust, ballistic, okay? But this is the word of all words. This is the most acrobatic word there is. But then again, you can't take away from Tor, its twin, and its parent, Atum. You cannot. because you will find that they also have given all the words of the universe in every language ever to humanity. It's the Trinity from which all words come. And there it is even in Old Norse. Bol is tree trunk. Unmistakable. The trunk of a tree. Even in Dutch, bol. These are just a few examples. I use all languages in my research, all of them. Because that's how you stitch all this together, you see. And there is the actual explanation in Greek. Hyper balein, right? To throw, above to throw. Above, hyper. And balein is to throw. It's a thrust. And that's it there. So everything comes from the center. And look at these bowls. What are their shapes? Well, their shapes come from that hourglass, the two bowls. One going down, one going up. Yeah.
So the Nordics called the world tree, the North Pole, Yggdrasil as well.
Exactly. Yggdrasil, the Midgard.
Yeah. I think it also translates to, I might be wrong on this, but I think it also translated to terrible mount. At least that's what I remember it vaguely, like years ago.
Yeah, well look at the word terrible, right? Taurus and Bull. Of course it's the Taurus Bull Mountain.
Yeah.
Right? And then let's even be a little bit more specific. Here are some Tor Bull words, right? Look at all these ones. You mentioned terrible, that's down here. But why don't we look at where's trouble? Is it there? God, trouble has to be there, man. Yeah, there it is.
I don't see it. Oh.
There you go. Trouble.
Yeah, I see it.
Adorable. Right? A Taurus bull, adorable. It's adorable, but it's trouble. But it's adorable. Right? And it's terrible. Turbulent. There you go, there it is there. Turbulent. Of course they're going to call it terrible mountain. Durable, yes, it's durable. Durable. And that's all you've got. And the outside is the dur, and the middle is the bull, the pillar. And if you pay attention and you go to every single language, I love languages, and I've looked at all the languages. I don't, make any exception. Aboriginal, Australian languages, there's hundreds there. Indian languages from the Americas, Mayan words. They call, for goodness sakes, they call the sun god here Tonatiuh. Ton. And in Egypt they were saying all is Atum. And then they changed, and they said they called it Aten, Akhenaten. When he came along, he changed it, the system, and he brought people back to calling the sun god Aten, because he knew that that's what had to be done. Tangible, we'd already done that. Tenable.
Oh, I think the royal family for Japan was called Tenno.
There you go, Tenno. And how many places in Japan have 10 in it? Like Tenshi, Tenji, Tenjin.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Yeah, I used to see 10 everywhere. It was, even in China, they've got 10 all over the place. 10, 10, 10. Because it comes from Aten. It's not escapable. In fact, I was making a chart for the word atom and showing its numerological value, and it's always 1. Have a look at this. Nick. So let's start with atom, all these atom, right? And then we'll go down all these different derivations of atom. Now, atom is 1, numeric, A is 1, T is 2, U is 3, and M is 4. Well, there it is. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 equals 10 equals 1. All right? And then we go to atom. Atom's the best. The best. I like this one, atom, because of the symmetry. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 equals 10 equals 1. It's so perfect. But atom is also perfect, which is the same word. 1 plus 4 plus 1 plus 4, right, equals 10 equals 1. But that M, if you don't reduce it to 4 and keep it at 13, then you go 1 plus 4 plus 1 plus 13 equals 19 equals 10 equals 1. So the M for some might be a problem, if because of the principle of reduction. But it works both ways, reducing it or into a 4 or leaving it as a 13. It works. And then you've got DNA. Look at this, DNA, right? D is 4, A is 1, N is 5. That equals 10, and that equals 1. And I've given all the different derivations of that. Dan, which in Spanish is Adan, same word as Adam. Then the word man, right? So M-A-N, 4 plus 1 plus 5 equals 10 equals 1. Tun, 2 plus 3 plus 5 equals 10 equals 1. Garden of Eden, 5 plus 4 plus 5 plus 5 equals 19 equals 10 equals 1. So the Garden of Eden means 1, the garden of oneness. Edom, the name that Esau was changed to. Esau changed his name to Edom, as his brother, his twin, Jacob, changed his name to Israel. All right? 5 plus 4 plus 6 plus 4 equals 19 equals 10 equals 1. Now here's some more interesting ones. Even though these words don't reduce down to a 1, I can't get atom to reduce down to 1, but the meaning of it is 1. Yeah. An atom is the irreducible one. So it's in the meaning. And also in Adam, because dem means demi, both, or two. Just as Tom means twin, so does dem mean twin, demigods, right? Halves, two halves.
Yeah.
So if you put... right? See, the A privative changes the meaning and flips it completely 180 degrees over. So Thomas means twin, or Tom. Well, then atom must mean the opposite. Unity, one. In fact, what have we got here? O is 6. N is 5. That's 11. And E is 5. That's 16. Well, that's interesting.
You got 7.
Yeah, 7. And then this one here, look at this one, Aten. Well, if you just take that 10 on its own, 10 reduces down to 1. And then in the Slavic languages, Russian and Ukrainian, they say Odin for the number 1. That's how they start their numbers. Odin.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
And
Odin, like also the father of Thor as well.
Yep, Woden. Look at that. The one. The god of the Nordics. Odin. In Czechoslovakia and Croatia, they say Jadan. But it's these are all Slavics. These two, Odin and Jadan. This is the Slavic languages. Ukraine, all that area. See, it's ground control to Major Tom. Who's Major Tom? Well,
yeah, I thought I heard that before.
Yeah, David Bowie.
That's probably why.
Yeah, ground control to Major Tom. And in the Matrix, the name of Neo, which is one, mixed up, his true name is Tom and DNA.
Yeah.
The son of DNA, Tom, the son of Dan Anderson. There you go. You can't make this stuff up, right? And look at these.
They say,
go on.
Go ahead. I was going to say, and they say that the universe was an accident.
Yeah. You got to laugh.
Right.
Yeah, poor people. They're so lost. And codons, look at Odon, right? There's 64 of those. Equal 10 equals 1. Now this is my favourite one of all. A dime. How much is a dime?
I got 10 cents.
Yeah. There you go. Well. Right there it is, equal 1. A dime. Which is the relative of time. Because time is one. You see, people say, oh, the future and the past and talk about things that happened in the past and in the future. Well, in a true sense, time doesn't exist. You know, it's always a forever now. So it's just a concept that we use for convenience, you see. But time still brings you back to the word one. Yeah.
I think I remember Ken Wheeler in one of his videos on YouTube. He was talking about time and the illusion. How, I don't know if I'm recalling this correctly, but he's talking about how time was essentially the perturbations. I don't remember exactly what it was. I need to look back on it. It was pretty much like the waves in the. Wow, it's escaping me now. I remember I had the explanation in my head, but now I just can't recall it.
Well, yeah, he says that it's only an effect of the volume of magnetism. You know, magnetism and time are one and the same. So it's the field perturbation, the field expanding. So it's all. See, the only space that we have here on the Earth is the space inside the Taurus Field cosmos that we're living in. You know, there's no outer space. You know? So it's all a oneness. That's why time and dime all come to a one. So it's just magical, man, when you really discover this language.
I remember when I first heard the phrase "all is a tomb," and I kept saying it over and over again. It was the most satisfying thing I could say.
Yeah.
Especially with the tomb, that vibration that you get from that.
Yep. All is one. You can't escape it, friends. All right, so let's have a look at what else we've got here. Well, you know, look at this. I mean, there's plenty of languages there. How about this in Turkish? Bulluk is a slang word for penis. There you go. The bull.
Yeah, you also got people in the UK saying bollocks, which also means, balls.
Exactly. Well, I've got that in here. This is an interesting slide here, showing you all the words that bull can mean. Talking rubbish. Let's have a look. We'll see if we can find that one.
Speaking baloney?
Yeah. Baloney. See? Baloney. Speaking bull. It's because when you speak in hyperbole, right, you're exaggerating. So that's where the word bull comes from. When they say to people, oh, he's talking a whole bunch of bull. Because the hyperbole, exaggeration, it comes from the hyperbola. Hyperbole. Oh, yeah, that was a hyperbole. There you go. Look, there is the word. So, hyperbole. Well, if you put an A there, you've got hyperbola. Well, if it isn't the same word. I mean, I can't help but notice these things. You know? And look at what it means. Like bolt. Baleen, to throw. An exaggeration. You know? A super thrust. Here it is. All right, you said baloney, didn't you?
Yeah. I also said bollocks as well.
And there's bollocks. There you go. Right in the same thing. There you go. All right. And look at this though. Middle English origin meaning testicles. The bollocks. Mm-hmm. Yeah, balls. We call them balls now, right? Well, there you go. There you go.
I wonder how that happened.
Mm-hmm. Well, because it comes from the Taurus bull. Everything does. All words come from them.
Yep. Atum, bolt, or... Pretty sure that was it.
Yep. Here it is, look, to bellow something. That means to emit a loud cry. So that's, unintelligible rubbish as well. Bellow. Bellabore, to write about at length or excessively, to harp on. Don't belabor. Oh, sorry, bellabore. Belabor. With the hyphens in there, it just confused me. Belabor. Don't belabor the point. Bell. All right? To blather. To blither. To babble. He's babbling on now. Babble, bull, 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 bull. Well, of course. We just talked about it being the parley, parliament. It's the word of God. Well, it's also Babylon, you see?
Yep.
It's the
I was actually thinking of that.
Yeah. And you bawl your eyes out. Look at that. To bawl. It's the same pronunciation as the ball that you kick on the soccer field.
Yeah, same thing with the bowling as well.
Yep. Bowling. Balderdash. Senseless, stupid, or exaggerated talk. Nonsense. Oh, that's balderdash. When a donkey talks, it's brays. Well, that's bull. Bray. Loud, harsh cry of a donkey. Mm. To blare. Oh, that's blaring. Oh, stop it. It's blaring. All right. Loud. Raucous sound. Mm-hmm. Bluster. The wind is blustering. Oh, it's a blustering, tumultuous wind.
You also got flare as well, that you just reminded me of when something blared.
Yep, flare, which comes from fall, which is the Taurus field. Here's bulge, to swell out. Okay. Yeah. Palave, a conference or a discussion. Palave. To blabbing, to reveal indiscreetly and thoughtlessly. Oh, she was blabbing about her boss. Blabbing. Well. And there's burble. Again, it goes back to this bull. Hyperbole. To make a bubbling sound. Bubble, babble, belch. There you go. Belch. Belching. And there's the root in the P. So we get to the P. That's today's lesson, the P. Parley, parlance, parliament, parable. A parable. Yeah. And to parlor, like an ice cream parlour. So you go and have ice cream and you go and speak. So, yeah, it's just nice to be able to notice this language because it makes you realise that all things are interrelated and all is atom. And when you do that, then you have the keys to the kingdom. This is having the keys to the kingdom. So, yeah.
Yeah, I remember, a few years ago, after watching one of your videos, you mentioned how woman also comes from the phrase "the womb of man." I remember telling that to someone, and their mind got blown.
Yeah, just a simple truth like that. I've always been interested in things like that, words and how they have, interconnections. And ever since I was a little boy, I always loved languages, and I always used to love discovering these connections between words. Have a look at this one. These are all the words that end with bull, herbal, tribal, global, verbal, etc. You come down to here, simple. See? Pimple, simple, dimple, people, staple. And you wouldn't think that it was a derivation of bull because it's spelled backwards, you see. PLE. It's not... Like in Spanish, see how they spell it like this, the bull. They will say mutable, right? We say mutable. Now, mutable conforms to the Spanish way of finishing it with a BLE, and remarkable, right? And possible. So I've given that derivation here, BLE, and it can be at the front of a word as well, blaze. We know that these Taurus bulls are blazing fires. But here's the original, I suppose you could say the original arrangement of those letters. They're separated by a vowel in the middle. But even these are, you see, even though this is, you say rumbull, right? Now, we're spelling it like this, rumbull, right? Now, but in Spanish, they'll say ble. So in Spanish, if you go and speak Spanish, you wouldn't pick this up until you relate Spanish with English, and then you realise, okay, they've spelt it like in the word able. I am able, I'm capable. So, where's the word capable? Is it there? Let's have a look. Let's just put that in. Put that up there. Capable, is that right?
Yep.
It is, there you go. Well, capable is spelt that way. With the BLE, you see? Same as able. Able and capable are spelt exactly the same way. But that's the trick with English, you see? It's in Spanish, they will turn around and they will just say mutable, ble. They won't say mutable. But you see how ble is clearly, ble and bull are the same thing. So when you bleach, blaze, bleat, well, there's one. Let's have a look at that. Let's see what this means. Bleat. A wavering cry made by a sheep or a goat or a calf. Well, well, well. You see what happens when you sit around and do research? Bleat. So I could have stuck that in there. Let's have a look. Where did we have that? I think I'll put it back up here. Oh, yeah, near the hyperbola. There we go. Bleat. Let me stick it in here. There you go.
Nope. Formatting got a little messed.
Yeah.
Oh, also you got seat, even though it's an S.
Bleat?
I was thinking of bleat, and then which for me just reminded me of seat. Take a seat.
Yep. That's the seat of God. The throne is a seat, isn't it? Right, we've just been talking about, the whole presentation was talking about the throne of God, because the high purple is the throne and God is time. Krishna says, time I am. Saturn is time, chronos, chronology. So time has the same root as seat. Throne is a seat. And that's what time is. There you go.
Yeah. So at least we know he doesn't sit on a table.
That's right. Taurus bull. A stable table. Let's highlight that new word there, bleat. You know, I mean, I can add to this forever. This is a work in progress, of course, and this is what's going to go into the book I'll be writing and the videos I'll be making, documentaries, all of this information. So I'm just waiting for the opportunity Okay, question. Stop sharing. Let me get this one in chat. Okay. Yes, about the North Pole or Polaris. Yeah, see, isn't this amazing?
Polaris.
Isn't that amazing? Polaris. There you go. I totally ignored that one. Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, I forgot about that one too.
Isn't that beautiful? Polaris is sitting where? Nick?
I don't think
right
it's
on top of the
North Pole, maybe?
There you go. Polaris, pole. And the North Star. What is the significance? Going back to that topic, my apologies. Yeah, no, that's in topic. Don't worry. That's perfectly in topic. So, Polaris, they say that Brahma sits at the North Pole, right on top of the hyperbola. That's where he sits. God, the creator of this system. Brahma sits right near Polaris. And in Chinese acupuncture, this point here, of the 365 points in the or 360 points, one or the other, don't quote me. This is called Polaris in your head. Right in the North Pole, where Santa Claus descends the claustrum down the chimney, the Shushumna, and brings presents, chrism, to the human being, because you can make children with chrism. Right? So isn't that beautiful, man? Look at that. What is the significance? Well, that's the significance, Steve. Polaris is the pole, the North Pole, Polaris. They are one and the same, the pole and Polaris. And I think Polaris is the portal at the top of the North Pole,
It makes sense.
Yeah, it's another star through which you can go to other dimensions. All right.
Yeah. Also, one thing I like about Polaris, and I don't know if I'm wrong on this, because I think I remember watching a video on you were talking about Polaris and the flat Earth.
Yeah.
And I don't remember specifically what you said, but one thing even way before, when I first started getting on the stationary Earth, was that Polaris was essentially viewable. Well, maybe not with the naked eye, especially once you go down south, but Polaris was pretty much, should be in theory viewable from any part of the Earth, no matter where you are. Pretty much all you got to do is look north, look at the right angle, and you'll be able to see it. Granted, if you're far away enough, you might need a telescope.
Yeah, you can actually. If you use a penetrating filter, you can see it. It is up above the horizon, there's no doubt about that. But generally, there's so much pollution and contaminants in the sky. There's, of course, remember, air is not transparent. People think that you should be able to see through air forever. No, it's got a limit. There's atmospheric particles, there's atmospheric refraction, there's... what happens when you're driving your car on a misty day, right? Well, you can't see more than 20 metres ahead, 20 yards.
Yeah.
You can't. But when it's dry and clear, dry, you can see all the way down the road at night or at day, whatever, it doesn't matter. But you see what happens when there's moisture in the air? So there's always moisture.
Yep.
People think, well, you can't see Polaris. That doesn't prove anything. It proves that your eye is limited. That's all it proves. And that the atmosphere is playing games with you. That's all it proves. You see how limited people, their arguments just are so little. Their small minds are so little. And they grab onto little sticks, with their small-minded arguments.
Yeah. Plus with the atmospheric interference, as well as the limit of your own eyes, obviously you're not going to be able to see without assistance.
That's right. There's a great channel on the internet. T. Jolan, I think his name is. Let me just do this. Let me be really quick. This is very good too. Let's hang on. So, plain Earth. Yeah, here we go. So, this is probably the best video on flat Earth that I've ever. I did this. This is mine, and I think it's the best one because it exhausts all sacred texts and all science. It goes right into the science of everything, you know, like it shows you how the plane of inertia, you know, this is how the plane of inertia is formed. Right, this guy explains it.
Some kind concentric flame.
No, I can't play that because it's interfering. But anyway, if you watch that, if you click on that and just put this plain Earth is scientific, globe Earth is not in my channel, and then you come down to here.
You send me a link. I think I can.
Oh yeah, I'll send you a link. Stop sharing. Chat, I'll put that in the chat right now for you.
Thank you.
That's in everybody's chat, guys. Let's go back, share screen. And you go to this one here. Okay, that's what I wanted. I was talking about filters. Go to J. Tolan Media 1. And like this guy busts it really good, man. Like, see what happens when you look at this. He's flying over America and he keeps finding all this incredible straight flat lines for thousands of miles, not just hundreds of miles, because he put a filter on his camera and it penetrates all that moisture and all those particles and all the distortion, right? And it gives you what's there. But see, our eye doesn't do that. So our eye sees just the curve of the flat Earth. Hang on a minute, did I say the curve of the flat Earth? Yes. If you stand on a big round table, it's flat, but it's round. So the Earth is round. It is round,
like
but it's not a sphere. It's not a globe. And it's flat. It's a flat round Earth. That's what it is. We should be calling it that. You know, we should be calling it that. The flat round Earth. That'll really do people's heads in. Huh? That guy's contradicting himself. He calls it a flat round Earth. It's either it's flat or round. No. I've got coins in my pocket and they're flat and they're round.
Yeah, clearly these people have never seen a plate.
They've never seen a plate, exactly. But in saying that it's round, it's not just round. There is some squareness to the Earth as well. I've always known this from years and years ago. There is the four corners of the Earth, you know, in the Bible it talks about it as well. So somehow there are square pillars, there's a squareness to the shape as well. I don't know how it works in a Taurus field, but it has to be a Taurus field we're living in because there's no other form. There's no other form. It's no use talking about, it's probably like this or probably like that, because there's no way that physical things cannot be manifest through atoms or torus fields, which are the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But then people say, well, look at the human. Humans are not balls or squares. Yeah, but our electromagnetic aura is. It is. Just because the plane of inertia isn't crystallized yet, which extends from the heart, that doesn't mean it's not there. My heart is sending a signal out horizontally all around the Earth, the flat, round Earth. I like this. I'm going to start using that, the flat, round Earth. There you go.
Yeah. I also remember you mentioning, and actually something else as well. First thing I remember you mentioning, I forget when it was specifically, you were talking about auras as well, how we have one in counter space, which is a cube, I think you said.
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep. I got that from Walter Russell.
And now I'm just starting to remember, you know how each chakra and the depictions of them, they all have different shapes. You have the part that's a hexagon, then you have the lotus for the crown. And I'm remembering the root was depicted as a square.
Yes.
So
look at this, man. This guy's got infinite freaking videos in here. Look, I know it does stop, or maybe it's my limitations. But look at this, man. Look at all the videos of infrared. Infrared apparently is the. This one's good. I've seen this one. Rocky Mountains. Look at this, man. It goes. You can see the Rockies from about 1,000 miles away. Oh, well, he's got 500 miles here, but when you look at the map, it's longer. Where he traced it out, it's about 700 miles. You shouldn't be able to see those. They should be beyond the curve, beyond the imaginary curve. Look at that.
Yeah.
There's the Rockies. Now, when he zooms out, it's just fascinating. Look what happens. Right, let's go out. Rocky Mountains, clearly. And now he's going to zoom out, is he? There we go, here we go. There you go, look at that. And that's even with infrared. Now, people with just their eyes, look, they will never see that. Because there's clouds there, there's moisture in the air. Air is not transparent. And the eyes don't see forever. The eyes don't have that power. An eagle's eye might. An eagle might be able to penetrate the atmosphere. But not our eyes. We don't penetrate water molecules. The mist, you see?
Fogs, clouds.
Yeah, what do you have those special lights? What are those special lights on the four-wheel drives called, on your SUVs?
High beams, I believe.
Yeah, there's another word for them too. Fog lights?
I think that was, yeah.
Do you call them that in America? In Australia, we call them fog lights.
Yeah, I think there's also another kind of lamp. I don't know if it's what they specifically call on vehicles, but there's also floodlights as well.
Floodlights, yeah. Fog.
Yeah, but in America, I believe they're called high beams.
Yeah, well, yeah. But some actually get special lights, right, to penetrate the moisture, and those are specifically for the fog.
Fog lights, yeah.
Huh?
Fog lights.
Yeah, fog lights. Thanks, Anne-Marie. Fog lights. There you go. But I think some cars now are using Blu-ray blue light in their cars to see through the mist. Because how many accidents have happened in the mist, in the fog? How many lives have perished in automobiles driving through the fog and the mist? Now, people are looking at the flat Earth through that mist, and because it shuts off your view to penetrate what's beyond, they deduce that it's a sphere, and you can't see beyond, but you can. If you had fog lights or infrared. Look at that, man. There's the Rockies. Just disappears. Gone.
Steve said in the chat, high intensity blue lights.
High intensity blue light. Thanks, Steve. Yeah. Man, we're doing some good research here.
You can also get the same effects if you just go to a coastline, or it doesn't have to be a coastline. Maybe if you go to one with a big enough lake. I don't know how well it'll work on a lake, but that will depend on the size. And just take a camera with zoom and go to near a port. You'll see boats far off in the distance. They'll look like they're falling underneath the horizon, but get a camera, or even binoculars, telescope even. You'll see them come right back up. I mentioned that to people as well, I remember, and they're still dismissing that the Earth no way can be flat, or quote-unquote flat.
Yeah, well, next time you know what to say. Yeah, it's flat and it's round. Because they're unthinking people and they're not intelligent at all, they'll be confused forever. Well, that idiot he said, well, he's admitting it's a globe and he's admitting it's flat in the same sentence. Let him be confused, because they're too dumb to work it out that something can be flat and round at the same time. Here's the Gulf of Mexico. This channel is all the proof you need, man. And then what about the video Flatten the Curve? Have you seen that yet, Nick?
Not sure if I have.
Right,
which channel is it? Is it yours or is it this one's?
Oh, I'm going to put that in right now. There it is, Flatten the Curve. Bang. These are pilots, tens and tens of pilots who have come out, and they've had it with the, they know that it's flat, right? Engineers, pilots. See that curve there? That's all GoPro. Now it curves the other way. Look at that. Now arcs back the other way.
Yeah, it's always funny seeing that.
And look at the sun. The sun's always below those clouds when it's away from a jet. I've seen that many times flying around the world.
Yeah,
many times. And still they can't work it out, man. They expect this sort of dirt is flying at 650 million miles an hour, Mach 870. 870,000. Look at this. You can see clearly. That's I think that was the Suez Canal. You can see that it's not curving. Nothing is curving, and plane never dips. You never see a plane dipping. You don't feel it either. And they say, oh yeah, but that's gravity. As you go fly around the sphere, the gravity changes the plane. It pulls it, and so it brings the nose down. But I don't feel that. You should feel it. We should feel that. We should feel the nose constantly. Every minute there should be an adjustment. It should be tipping the nose every minute. And yet the planes, I've been in planes and it's just like hovering, straight.
Yeah.
But I'll put this in the chat, guys, as we wind it up for today.
Oh yeah. I also have a question. I've been saving it for last because it was off topic. I didn't want it to derail from the whole lesson.
Yep.
Is it all right if I ask it now?
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I'll hang around if there's questions. It's just that if there's none, why hang around? I've done the lesson. The lesson's all. I've got that out, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah, this is mostly on behalf of someone else, but I also have a bit of a curiosity too. I was wondering if you had any insights on a stone that was called the shungite.
Shungite, yeah, it's from Russia. It's sort of meteoric stone. And I carry it often. I've got some at home. I've got a big stone, and then I've got one that I carry around my neck. That stone there is good for protection. Most opaque stones are, and shungite is very, very protective. You don't want any demons around or bad energy, you wear some shungite. I once survived a murder attempt because I had shungite around my neck.
Oh, yeah, I remember that story.
Yeah. I remember looking at it and going, oh, I forgot you were there. Thank you, after the event, you know. But it was there. It's very protective, man. Amethyst as well, but amethyst supposedly protects you from drunks. So I used to wear amethyst when I was a street performer, busking in Melbourne, because there was a lot of drunks, you know. They hanging out in the mall. Hey, how's it going, man? I like your music. Burp. You know. No, thank you. I don't like drunks. I don't like alcohol, and I don't like drunks. Drunks are bums. Please.
Oh yeah, I can't stand them either.
Oh, they're the worst.
I remember that I was living with a friend at the time. It was just part of a plan. It was supposed to be like a temporary setup. And yeah, one of the people in the household was, well, actually two of them, but one of them was a drunk, and yikes, never. Yeah. Don't want to be anywhere near them if I can help it.
Alcohol is the lowest point you can turn to in your evolution, in your, you know, in your living.
Yeah.
How can you stoop that low, man?
Yeah, and alcohol comes from the word, correct me if I'm wrong, but it comes from the word alcohol, which I forget which language specifically, but yeah, alcohol means to eat spirit.
Yeah, it's a demon.
You drink it, something, yeah. So you drink it, you eat your spirit, and thus you become empty, thus becoming a vessel for other entities.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, eating demons.
Mm-hmm.
Demon munchers.
Yep, and that's why they serve spirits. I can't believe you mentioned this at some points. I think I got it from you. I don't remember where I got it from. But yeah, they serve spirits, they serve jinns, they serve... Well, those are the ones that are coming to mind right now, but I'm sure there's more.
That's a good point. Jinn. There you go. What's a jinn?
Yeah, jinn, genie. I believe jinn was a form of demon.
It is. Yep. In Islam, in the Arabic languages. And in Japan, a gay jinn is a foreigner.
Yeah, gaijin.
Gaijin. But it's interesting because gay and goy, because Japanese is very, very close to the Hebrew language. Very, very close. In fact, the word to speak, one of the words to speak in Japanese is daberu. Daberu.
Daberu. Yeah, daberu.
Daberu. And in Hebrew, to speak is daber.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just one example. But goijin Gay jinn would be goy jinn, the goy demons. But it still goes back to jinn. You can't escape it. Demons, spirits. And that's what they serve in bars. Good point. I never thought of that. Gin. What else was it? Spirits and liquor. Alcohol. Yeah, it reminds me of a name of a demon. Alcohol, yeah, for sure. And I think it is a Hebrew demon. Alcohol. Alrighty. Anyone else got some finishing points there? Please jump on. It'd be nice to hear from you. Just pop in and say hello if you want. I see.
Hey, Santos.
Hey, Steve.
I don't know if my internet is. It was kind of sketchy there for a while, so I didn't want to have you get my chat all jumbled up there. But yeah, I battled. I was never really into alcohol, but yeah, I knew about that spirit, and yeah, I've heard that somewhere a long time ago. But the temptations are everywhere, that's for sure. Just wondering the significance of the word tequila, because you see it everywhere here in Mexico, right?
Now that I think about it, tequila can also sounds similar to kill.
To kill her. Yeah.
True enough.
To kill the feminine spirit. Tequila. Yeah. Yeah, they're very similar, and they will have a similar frequency to them. This is the thing. See, words have frequencies, right? So that's how you can make a word beneficial or damaging, malefic or benefic.
Yeah, I remember as a kid, I remember hearing words, and sometimes I see those, not like maybe fully consciously, but more like passively. I'll see those words, and I'll see a connection to them, but I'll never consciously acknowledge it. And I think at some points, I think I did, but then someone shut me down, and then that kind of just went dormant for years. It was only until I really started getting into etymology.
Yeah, that's how it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll shut you down straight away when you get to, too inventive with words and thoughts, and you break away from conventions. You'll be ridiculed. There's no time for that in this world.
Yeah. You even got people who are saying that psychic ability is completely make-believe, it's fake, there's no way it exists. But meanwhile, you have people who have out-of-body experiences, and even I had experiences out-of-body with people that I knew in person, and we both recalled the exact same thing on the same night when we both come back, and there's no way that can happen if like human beings weren't innately psychic either.
Yep, I agree. We have many abilities that we're not exploring simply because we don't know many people who have them and teach how to open up. It's like, someone who can play the guitar, right? They can teach someone else.
Yep.
You just have to show them how easy it is from their standpoint, and then that gift will be transferred over. The same with healing. It's just another gift. Playing the guitar, healing, speaking a language. These are all gifts.
Yeah.
And everyone has the potential to do all of those things.
Yeah. Like I always say that psychic ability, much like anything, is like a muscle. You got to work it out. Some people are like almost think of it as a ham radio. You know, ham radios are, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I always view it as that, where some people are, when they're born, because of their astrological constitution, they would already be naturally attuned. So you have people who say they can already see auras, meanwhile most of the population can't. It's not that they physically can't, unless of course you have those who are soulless potentially, who are just sacks of meat walking about. So like some people are already naturally tuned, and if you're not naturally attuned, and if you obviously have a soul, I would say, then you can get it. It just requires a bit of work. Some are more proficient at it, whereas others are not so much. Same thing with anything else, like playing guitar, playing a sport.
Yep, I agree. For sure. the more you practice, the more proficient you become at anything, you know. So why limit ourselves? Here at Syncretism, we're teaching everybody everything, you know, no secrets. Here we can train people how to learn astrology, alchemy, divination, lots of divination modalities, tarot, I Ching, the list goes on. We've even got a guy now, Noah, who's going to be teaching Toltec wisdom. So he's a friend of mine. I met him in Oaxaca, and he's only been studying it for a short time, like a couple of years now, and he's pretty much mastered it. It's like he's mastered this amazing Mexican tradition, and now he's teaching it and doing readings, you know. And he just knows how to decipher all those symbols and connect them all up. In the chat, let's see who we got. Thank you, Eleanor, from Ireland, Ireland. You know how the Rastafarians say Ari man, Ari? Yeah, which means Aries, which means all good, God. Ire man. And here they've got Ire land, the land of ire.
Yeah, when someone sparks someone's ire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
ire got iron. Oh, go ahead.
Yep, ire is related to fire, right? Look at, if you put a fire in front of that ire, you've got fireland, okay? Because ire is born of fire. Anger is born of fire. It's bitter. So that could be easily called fireland, you know? Freer land.
Yeah.
The land of freer.
Yeah, and if you put an L in there, you get the word liar.
Yeah. Liar land.
Oh. Just a quick roll back to my earlier question about the Shungite. I was actually wondering, because I didn't look through every single instructor. Do you know which ones are, or even if we have any instructors that specialize in stones, and like from Shungite, sapphire, ruby, etc.
Crystal and Nick.
Okay.
Yeah. And I would hazard to guess that Micah Sky might be in that. Might be into stones and crystals. I'm not really that well versed in stones and crystals, but I've always got space too if I've got time, for sure. I love them. I'm always wearing something, you know. Like here I've got Hollywood. See this? This is made by a 400-year-old woman, and Crystal made this for me. She gave it to me as a gift. This is probably about $1,000. I spent a lot of money on this and gave it to me when they came here, when they moved. And this is real wood, you know. It's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years old. I don't know how old it is, but yeah. Nick's got one around his neck that's from a 2,000-year-old tree.
Oh.
He also wears his Hollywood around his neck. But I've always worn these Tulsi beads around my neck and around my wrist, right wrist. So yeah, I like the feel of wood on me because it's Jupiterian. It's jovial. It's happifying. It's very, very benefic. You see, crystals, some of them are malefic, but you've got to wear them because that's the energy that you need, right? So, but wood is totally benefic. It breathes. Think about it. Stones don't breathe, but wood breathes, right? So there's it's got an extra field modality about it. It's got solid. It's got airy. You know, and it's moist, so it has liquid as well. Yeah. And wood is one of the elements in the Chinese, right? So they have wood, metal, fire, water and earth. They exclude the air element. But I believe that goes with the wood. It has to go either with the wood or the metal. And then ether would have to go with either the wood or the metal. So I'm not sure because I haven't really studied all the properties of the difference between wood and metal, but the Chinese use those as elements, you know, wood and metal. It's interesting. All right, Nick. Nice sharing with you. Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Lorraine.
There's another message from Eleanor.
All right, Eleanor. Thank you, Santos. And Eleanor in Ireland. Ireland's name is Ariu. There you go. Aries, the Lamb of God. Fire sign. It's all about fire. Fireland, the land of fire. And they are very fiery, the Irish, you know, in many ways, in their magic, in their mysticism, their culture, their traditions. Been to Ireland, it was beautiful. Had a really good time there. Went to all the ancient sites with James Swagger, who does a truth channel there. And I did a presentation there in Dublin. Which is the one that's north? Dublin or Belfast? Let's have a look at that before we go. I forget. I actually forget. Yeah, Dublin. Belfast is down the bottom. There you go. Alrighty, so there you go. We've done the North Pole, the throne of God. No, Belfast is up the top. Sorry, it was Belfast. Excuse me, all you Irish people, it was Belfast. I did a presentation in Belfast, not in Dublin. All right? So, yeah, that was beautiful, man. Beautiful green island. Amazing. Never forget it. I was there for a week. Alrighty, I'm closing out, and we'll see you next week for... Oh, is that... We're closing. All right.
Like wave goodbye or...
Yep.
You're already right. Huh? You text goodbye.
So it's finished?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
No, it's not finished.
Oh, not finished. All right. I'll just say goodbye.
Just
Good.
a Zoom meeting.
The Zoom meeting. All right.
You're still alive.
Yeah. All right, guys. I'm going to close out here. Next week we've got, okay, so it's voltage, volition, volt, value, and volume. All right. Valor. All righty. Take care, everyone. Syncretists. And see you next week. And join in. Take care. Bye-bye.
The world has become tyrannical.
You want more of your people to die?
Deceptive. Dystopian. Fraudulent. Factual. Truthful. Direct knowledge. Has been taken away from the masses for the purposes of control. But enough is enough, dear friends.
We will not complain!
Now is the time to take what is rightfully ours. Welcome to the Syncretism Society Virtual Academy.
Welcome to the Syncretism Society
Virtual
Academy.
Within the Academy, we have great minds to collectively bring our alumni a staggering range of knowledge.
based off decade after decade of quantifiable research.
Spanning from sound medicine,
yoga science, Indian spirituality,
medical astrology,
Wisdom to sovereignty.
holistic health,
esoteric sciences, astrotheology.
Acquiring these truths, dear friends,
will drive your empowerment and ability
for proper ascension.
take back your sovereignty,
Take back your knowledge.
Take back your freedom. Join us at the Syncretism Society Virtual Academy.